How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monsters. This is Season 3, Episode 20, and this one's entitled Werewolf of Hollywood. It originally aired February 10th, 1991, and it was directed by Tom Whelan. The episode stars Richard Belezer, David Leary, Geraldine, Leer, and a special appearance by Shelley Berman. The episode was based on a short story by Ron Goulart, who also adapts the episode into a teleplay, so super cool to get to see someone adapting their own work. And this one came out pretty well. The idea is that a writer's hired to expand this outline into a full script, and it's about a werewolf on a movie set, and things in the script start to hit a little bit too close to home, and maybe there's an actual werewolf on this actual movie set. So yeah, a good bit of self-referential movie humor. I mean, the writers and the producers are all going to act how you'd expect them to, and we do get a few really good jokes in here, and plus it's super cool that they're making B horror movies. That's always really fun. And even though you really only get two sets in this movie, the writer's office and then the setup they got in one of the sound stages, it somehow feels bigger, you know? They're running around, they're doing things, they're trying to figure out how to stop this werewolf, and yeah, it is a small scale story, but it somehow feels like it has more going on. The writing's pretty tight with little things from the beginning paying off later on, and also if you pay attention, in the hallway, there's a Creepshow poster, and yeah, some of the people that made Creepshow would go on to make Darkside and then later Monsters. And while this is obviously cheaper and not as big as a Creepshow segment, you get that similar spirit there. And overall, this is just a pretty fun episode. And I have to say, it's one of the better ones this season, and I can definitely recommend it. Here's hoping with the last few episodes of this season that we get back on that golden streak we had earlier. Yeah, I have to say, Monsters Season 3 is shaping out pretty cool. But all that being said, let's talk in a bit more specifics. I'm not gonna do any major spoilers, I'll be steering away from the end bits, but I do want to break down and analyze a few plot points, so from here on out, let's do a bit of a deeper dive. We open up with this writer, and he's writing cheesy B horror movies, and actually one of the movies they reference him writing is a movie called Zombie Honeymoon, and yes, someone would actually make Zombie Honeymoon into a real movie later. I don't know if this is just coincidence, or maybe whoever made this movie was a huge Monsters fan. I'll have to check this one out. But anyway, he's in his office, and a woman comes in. The woman's a young writer, and she says, "Hey, your producer hired me to be a co-writer with you because he's worried you won't do his outline right." And the outline is called Werewolves of Hollywood. And basically an outline is not a fully developed script. It's all your major characters and story beats. It's basically explaining the path a movie will follow, but it's not a full-fledged script, and that's why he needs the writer. He needs the writer to expand it and fill it out and turn it into a full script. But the thing is, this writer hates it when producers try to be creative. He sees producers as much more businessmen and not creative types, and he absolutely hates it when they try to tell him what to do, and he says this outline is terrible. And we get a few peeks into it to find out why. It turns out the outline the producer made is about a heroic producer who just so happens to share his first name, and the producer stumbles upon a secret that an executive at the studio, so even though the producer's a big boss, this is the even bigger boss, it turns out the executive is secretly a werewolf and will sometimes get out and kill people, including in his own studio backlot. And the writer's looking at this and going, this is terrible. These are actual deaths that he heard about on the news. He can't just put those in his movie. And then the co-writer says, it also appears to be unfinished. We don't know how the movie's going to end. So yeah, even though it takes them a while to get what's going on, we as an audience know right away the movie's not finished because is the werewolf is still out there. And maybe a lot of this isn't exactly a metaphor. His character in the movie is trying to expose the executive's secret, and maybe that's what the whole point of this script is. Yeah, it's a little on the nose, but it is something you're supposed to know, and that's a large part of the joke. The producer does show up and try to make sure they're on the right path, and I love how the writer at one point was like, I don't like any of this, can we change it? Maybe the main character's a writer, and maybe the werewolf's an actor, and there's a love triangle where they're both after the same actress. Yeah, way to take someone's script that's blatantly about himself and rewrite it to be blatantly about yourself. I do like how this guy's a pretty campy writer, yet he doesn't really know it, but needless to say, the two people are riding really late one day when they hear a noise coming from one of the sound stages, and you know they're going to go and investigate, and that's where we'll get werewolf shenanigans. And the werewolf comes into the story a little earlier than you'd think. It's not just the twist at the end is the werewolf is real episode over. No, we see the werewolf kind of early, and then we have all these plans on to how to defeat it or how to figure out what to do when one of your bosses might secretly be a werewolf. And we also get some good metaphors where the werewolf is clearly a stand-in for some pretty terrible old Hollywood types, so we get a bit of meaning in this episode as well. Overall, this episode plays out to be quite something, and it really did feel a lot bigger than it was. Definitely a super cool episode. They got a lot done here, and it was a big, well-developed story with a few really good gags in it. Overall, I definitely recommend this one. Definitely check it out. It's going to be a highlight of the season for sure. This one's pretty good. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Monsters playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about the past episodes of the show, you should be able to find them there. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.